Hi there. You're listening to Someone Like You and Me, a place where we share little stories about feelings, memories, and the things we never quite had the courage to say out loud. In a world that moves too fast, we often forget how powerful small things can be. Inspiration doesn't always come from grand speeches, famous books, or extraordinary people. Sometimes it comes from a glance, a simple word, a quiet act of kindness, from those who live beside us, silently but fiercely. Today, I want to tell you about people like that. In everyone's life, there are certain people who stand out, not because they are rich, famous, or brilliant, but because they live in a way that leaves a quiet mark on us. They might never stand on a stage or go viral, but they teach us to love life a little more, to be just a bit more resilient, a bit more kind, even when no one asks them to. I remember very clearly the first person who ever inspired me, my mother. She was never one for big words. She never went to college, never left our little hometown, but she had a strength that amazed me. I was in 8th grade when our family faced financial difficulties. I kept the problem to myself, afraid to tell her about the tuition I couldn't afford. That night, she handed me a simple sandwich and said softly, "Keep going, my child. I've got this." When I asked her where the money came from, she just smiled. That was the first time I realized some people inspire not with words, but through quiet sacrifice and unconditional love. It wasn't long after that I began to notice the world is filled with unnamed inspirers. Like the cleaning lady I met one cold, rainy night, still sweeping the streets while I stood under a dry roof. I asked, "Aren't you cold?" She smiled. "Of course I am. But if I don't do this, the streets will be dirty tomorrow, and someone might slip." I never learned her name, never saw her again. But that night, she taught me something I'll never forget. You don't need a spotlight to inspire others. Responsibility and kindness speak loud enough. Sometimes, life gives us brief encounters with strangers, yet they leave a permanent imprint. When I was 20, I hit a low point in my life. Everything felt uncertain, like I was drowning. So I traveled alone to Kyoto, hoping that the calm of an ancient city would quiet the storm inside me. There, in a tiny cafe, I met an elderly artist. He was sketching, and without asking, he drew my portrait. I asked, "Why me?" He looked up, smiled gently, and said, "You have sad eyes, but they're not giving up. I just wanted to help you see that." I still keep that sketch, not because it's beautiful, but because it was the first time someone, a complete stranger, believed in me, even before I believed in myself. We often assume that inspirational figures must be world leaders, motivational speakers, or extraordinary achievers. But sometimes, inspiration comes from the friend who comforted you when you had nothing left, from a teacher who believed in you, even when you were failing, from an ex-lover who helped you rediscover your worth, even after love ended. And sometimes, what hurts the most is, we forget to say thank you. We get so caught up in our ambitions, our pain, our pace, that we forget someone once held our hand so we could stand again. They may no longer be in our lives, but their presence lives on in our turning points, our strength, our quiet victories. The beautiful part is, you might be someone else's inspiration right now, without even realizing it. You don't need to be great. You just need to be kind. To keep going. To try your best, even when no one is watching. That's enough for someone out there to look at you and think, if they can keep going, maybe I can too. Life is full of noise and heaviness, but in that chaos, there are always people whose simple words, gentle acts, and calm presence light a quiet flame in us, a voice that says, "I can keep going too. I can be strong too." And if you feel lost right now, look back. There's a chance someone, somewhere, once lit a small light inside you. Maybe they never knew it. Maybe you never told them. But it matters. And if you can't find anyone like that, I hope this story becomes the very first spark for you. Thank you so much for staying with me until the very end. If this message resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel so we can keep walking this journey together, one gentle story at a time. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.